Hey friend, it's Avi from JustWriteMusic.com. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me today. Coping mechanisms are habits or structures that we can use to help deal with our inner and outer reality. These coping mechanisms can be both negative and positive. Today, I want to dive deep and take a look at some reasons why we might be writing music and determine whether those are actually healthy or not. Before we begin, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and bell below for more videos helping you write better music and stay sane as an artist. Things aren't always as they seem. Music may be a positive thing in your life, but are you writing music for positive reasons? Intention is everything here. The act of writing and creating is wholly unique to every artist and every individual. Ultimately, this is something that's subjective. Today, we're going to break down 5 intentions, 3 positive and 2 negative, and discuss why they are that way and why we should maybe try and not do the negative ones. Keep in mind, this isn't an either or. You can resonate with all of them or just 1 or 2 of them, and maybe at different times as well in your life. It can vary. It's subjective. The first intention that I want to break down is a negative one, and that's avoidance. You may be writing music in order to avoid doing or dealing with something else. Hey, I get it. I procrastinate all the time and for the most minimal of reasons. The problem is when you use writing as an escape, as an avoidant behavior, you start to feel guilty, you start to feel pressure, you start to feel resentful about writing, which sucks. Suddenly, the thing you're avoiding is given even more power because you're associating writing music, this thing that you love, your passion, to whatever you're actively not dealing with. This isn't a great place to come from when trying to write music. And it's often in this stage where writer's block can become a real problem. Expecting your music or your creative process to act as an escape for some negative situation that you're actively avoiding is ultimately going to hurt you rather than help you. The way around this is to face whatever you're avoiding head on. Get it over with. Just deal with it so you don't have to make your passion some type of negative escape. I want to be really clear about something though. This is different than writing music because of a negative situation. Different. Not the same. That's not a bad thing at all. In fact, that's connected to the next intention that I would like to discuss. And this one is a positive one. Expression. If expression is your intention, writing music is going to be fantastically good for your mental health. This puts us in a position of openness to new ideas and to new influences. Even if you're expressing something negative or expressing something because of a negative situation, that doesn't mean the act of expression in of itself is negative. The distinction here is that you're not avoiding dealing with anything. Something's happening and you're dealing with it, you're processing it, and part of your processing is expression. That's why it's positive and not negative. That's why some really beautiful art can be created just by trying to express a feeling. Feelings are nuanced, and that leads to nuanced music. And I mean, guys, just look at all of the Romantic era, just all of it, the whole thing. One could argue that this is music and creation in its highest form, but I think that's just a little bit much, but expressing yourself is cool. What's not cool is trying to fake that expression. Hand gesticulations. That usually happens when someone is trying to write music through ulterior motives. Ulterior with a U. It's spelled with a U. English is weird. I guarantee you know someone exactly like this, and they come in many forms. The person who only seeks fame and fortune, musicians who actively seek to undercut their perceived competition or, just their colleagues, and those who want to feel, superior or cultured or whatever. The tricky part is these ulterior motives aren't always so characteristic. They can just as often exist as voices inside of ourselves. It's acting on these voices that creates the distinction between creating with ulterior motives or seeking personal gain through your art. I do want to clarify one thing. This doesn't apply to trying to make a living or an income with your music. If you've chosen that as your profession, it's your work, it's your job. This isn't always a clear value. This isn't always a clear boundary, especially for musicians, which causes many of us to undervalue ourselves or undersell ourselves particularly, or not try and sell ourselves at all or our services. We don't want to feel like we're just in it for the money, but we also have to pay rent and eat and stuff like that. It may look similar on the surface, but there's nothing wrong with just trying to pay your bills or even wanting a comfortable life. Taking extreme, imitative, and often unethical actions in order to catapult yourself into a life of luxury and fame, that's the bad thing. No, don't do that. But it's understandable why people seek this. In reality, I think they're looking for something else, though. Something that usually comes along with all of that fame and fortune. Connection. This is what I think those people with ulterior motives actually want. I think it's usually unaware to them, though. I think it usually flies under their radar because they're associating the experience of connection with these exterior signifiers as like wealth and status. The messed up thing is they're not wrong. People who have wealth and status are attractive and people want to connect with them. Ironically, they care so much about getting to this place of wealth and status that they treat people terribly in the process. And by treating people terribly, they are alienating themselves from the very connection that they're unconsciously seeking. Connection is a fundamental experience in making, performing, and listening to music. This is a fantastic intention to have behind your creative process. When music is connecting people, it's doing its job right. You even see this translating into the music industry itself. Networking is basically everything. It's all about who you know and your relationships with other people. But there has to be something genuine in that relationship. Value needs to be exchanged, and both people need to feel like they've benefited from it in order for the potential for that relationship to be achieved or to be found or to reach its true potential. That's what it says in the script. I didn't say that. I think connection is the secret ingredient that makes a band more than the sum of its parts. Connection is the prerequisite for all the amazing things and all the incredible art that can happen when you work with other people. And that's the next thing I want to talk about. The last intention, experience and experimentation. I wanted to end with two positives because we deserve something. We do. Connection fosters experimentation, which allows you to experience new people, places, and things. Novelty is often a source of inspiration, and with a little bit of awareness, you can start to hone exactly what type of things seem to inspire you. It also encourages openness of mind and challenges communication both musically, personally, and professionally. Too often, we're just writing in our own little bubble, especially these days. When we seek to collaborate with others, we open ourselves up to a whole new world of stylistic preferences, musical idiosyncrasies. The challenge here comes from, well, you have ideas, the other person has ideas, and you're trying to communicate between both of you as individuals how to negotiate them and make art out of that. That's hard. Even if there's some temporary friction or permanent friction between you guys, you'll know whether in a jam session or two whether or not you want to keep working together. And second of all, you never know what you're going to internalize and pick up from that person, even if you didn't get along with them in terms of like chemistry. Whether or not you're writing music for healthy reasons comes down to intention. And since it's not always easy to find these, sometimes they're, conscious, and sometimes they're just as easily unconscious. So, like everything else in life, it's nuanced. Like I said at the beginning of the video, you may resonate with one or more or all of these at the same time or at different times. It's going to change. Try and stay mindful of where you are in the moment, because we can use that as a way to turn a negative intention into a positive one. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I really hope you got something out of it. And if you did, let me know in the comments. And if you didn't, let me know in the comments. And if you kind of maybe did and are just sort of neutral about the whole thing, let me know in the comments. I'm Avi from JustWriteMusic.com, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.